All right, what we're gonna do here, or what I'm gonna do here, is change out this trim motor. The 90 Yamaha for my boat here. Trim motor is right there. It's got a lot of corrosion around it and it doesn't work, so you can hear it clicking. Won't go up or down, so I'm gonna have to change that out. And what I will be doing to do that, first thing I gotta do is get the engine, gotta raise the engine. So I'm gonna go right here and I'm gonna go in here and adjust here, relieve the, turn it in the direction of the arrow so I can raise the engine, then I'll lock it in place. And I'm gonna remove this bolt here and I'm gonna remove this one here and do the same on the other side. This is a 14 millimeter, these two are, and I'll take that, loosen it up so I can take the whole trim assembly and kind of finagle it. I'll move it where I can get in there and get that last bolt out of that trim motor. So I'm going to get started now. I wish I had somebody to film this while I do it, but I'm going to go ahead and get started and I'll come back to you later. Okay, I'm about to finish up with this job. Here is the trim motor, the old one. If you look at it, that salt water does a lot of damage. See, that thing has a hole in it right there. And so I got it off, and I have the new one on. This string right here, this is just some fish string. What I'm gonna do with the fish string, I tied it on to the harness, the wiring harness to the new one, like this. For example, this harness here, when you take this off, tie your piece of fish string onto it. I doubled it up and tied it onto this. That way when you pull it through, see it come, here's the new one here. That way that thing, you'll have a string where you can pull it back through, because it come through that grommet right in here. And you can pull that thing all the way through and get it back through easier instead of having to feed it through. So I have the cowling off right now still. I'm gonna hook the wires up. And then I have some pins I need to put in. The pin here, got to put that back in here in a little bit. And then I have to put my bolts in here and here. These bolts underneath under here, I had to get them loose, but what I had to do is loosen these in order to get them out of the way, in order to get a wrench on them. I didn't want to put the open face part of the wrench on it because it didn't work like I needed it to do it. So I got that on. And another thing too, you can relieve right here. You turn this in the direction of that arrow and you relieve the hydraulic pressure, or you bypass it. It allows you to raise this motor up, and then you lock it in place right here. What happened with me is I bypassed the hydraulics, but the motor wouldn't lift. I kept pulling and pulling. I guess it had gotten airlocked or whatever, but in order to deal with that particular issue, I took this hydraulic line, I just loosened it up just enough where fluid leak out of it, and it relieved the pressure, and then I jacked it up and put it all back together. So anyway, I have the new trim motor on. I'm getting ready to button everything up, put the bolts back in, get the pin put in, and I'll be back in a little bit. All right, here are the wires that come from the trim motor, and they're color coded. If you notice right here, that's yellow. I'm sorry, green. That's green and that's blue. So think of it in terms of this. The green is for the ground. Green, so just think green, the motor goes back toward the ground. The blue, up for sky. So when you're putting these wires, of course, they're color coded. Blue one to go here, blue one to go there, and the green one will go here. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook that back up, and then I'll get everything else put back together here shortly. But I thought I'd bring that up just, as a reference. So whenever you're doing some type of job like this, you'll know. All right, I have the trim motor is complete. As you can see, it works. There's the new trim motor under there. It's about to rain out here. It took me a while. The reason I had to go and get a tool just so I can take this clamp off underneath. I had to go get oil, and it rained on me off and on, and it's starting to rain again. But the trim motor is done. Everything works fine. Works wonderful, just ready to go get some fish now. One of the things about a boat, and I bought this boat 2002 brand new, is that there's a saying, if you own a boat, the word boat is like an acronym that stands for bust out another 1,000. So any of you who owns a boat, particularly if you put it in salt water, you have to do a lot of maintenance on it. I've changed out the leaf springs about 4 times. Just earlier this year, I changed out this shaft. Shaft had rusted out, so I put a new shaft and tongue on it and jack stand. Changed out the little V there for the boat. But anyway, have to keep the maintenance up. Everything works fine. I'll try it again. Let's get on this side over here. Up, down, no problem. So that's all it was, just a trim motor, bad trim motor. So it has been replaced and we're now good to go. One of the things I failed to mention earlier in the video when loosening and taking boats out, in order to be able to move this whole trim, in order to get back there to that that last boat, that boat back there in the back, you have 2 bolts on this side that you want to take completely out. This one and this one underneath here, and then this one back up under here, you want to loosen it. Don't take it out. On the other side, you have the same thing. You'll have 2 bolts. On this side here, take that bolt out. This one under here, take it out, and that bolt, not this bolt sticking out, but this one back up in here, not this one here, but the one back up in there, you want to loosen it too. So on each side, you have 3 bolts. You'll take 2 bolts out. The 3rd bolt at the bottom, on each side, you want to loosen it. Don't take it all the way out. Loosen it, and it'll allow you to shift this whole trim system. You can move this a little bit and make it so much easier to get back in there and get to that boat that's in the back of that trim motor.